So, I'm chatting with Dr. Mark McReynolds of SoCal A Rocha this afternoon. Tell me about Pomona Hope. That's a new ministry, isn't it?
It is. It's quite exciting, actually. We just started it up, and it's got three components. Um, they work with youth, so we're doing classes with them in the afternoon. They're supported by Pomona Presbyterian, and they have a huge facility, and we're trying to get that facility to be more creation friendly, energy efficient. And they also have a community garden. Pomona Hope is interested in helping the entire community, and that includes people and places, so that's a good match for us.
This may become A Rocha's urban site. Is that correct?
Yeah, hopefully it will be an urban site. I had initially wanted to have one urban site and one wild site, and hopefully this is going to be the urban site. The wild site is still in the works. I'm hoping that it's going to be somewhere in the foothills or in the mountains of the San Gabriels, perhaps at a camp.
SoCal A Rocha does science too, don't they?
Yes, that's kind of our hallmark thing. The kids will be doing some community science during their classes, but we're also focusing on birds and plastic. Two different bird projects. One my wife is heading up, that is the bluebird nest box monitoring. That happens in the spring. And then all year round I am looking at bird populations at the Brea Dam, or the Dam Bird Project, as I sometimes call it. So that's the birds. And then the plastic also has two parts. We are looking for nurdles, which are very small little pieces of plastic that get melted into all the other stuff that gets turned into plastic in factories. And that ends up escaping, winds up on the beach. So we're looking for nurdles, and we're also looking for microplastic. And that's a separate research project. And we actually have a state permit for all that.
So, Pomona Hope, science projects. What about church ministry?
Yeah, we do overt church ministry as well, although our church is outside, and it's called Church in Creation. That's another one of our programs. We actually have church outside, small groups, and in the creek, as in San Antonio Creek. It's quite fun, very different from anything you've probably experienced, and I'd welcome you to show up at one of those this next spring.
I see SoCal A Rocha does inside church services too.
We do. I'm actually inside, at least I used to be inside a church, much more than outside. So I've been doing speaking and teaching, and also workshops. Started off really well in January and February, and all that ended with COVID, middle of March, pretty much. So, preaching-wise, and this was really fun. I really enjoyed it. I was at a mostly Belizean church. I was at a mostly Nigerian church, but they spoke French. I did a Zoom sermon for a church up in Fresno. And then for workshops, I've, along with others, was involved in a denominational climate change workshop. I did a presentation for the American Scientific Affiliation, which is a Christian organization, on the microplastic research that we're doing. I did a retreat for the InterVarsity Christian Fellowship, graduates, focused on graduates, and the topic was hope. And it was appropriate given all the things that were about to happen to all of us. So those are some of the things I've been up to. Although I did do one more workshop recently that was actually in person, and that was with First Fruits. They are an organization, Christian organization, that sends money overseas to developing countries. And that was really fun as well.
So, who does all this work?
I do a fair amount of that work, but thankfully, my wife is involved as well. She's very supportive and she helps me in a lot of these things. And then I also have 3 volunteers. Autumn is doing a whole lot of our social media. And then I've got Naya and Bailey, and they are helping out with the microplastics.
What were this year's personal highlights?
3 things. 2 are very closely related. One is Zach and one is Simon. They are brand new grandsons, came this year during COVID, and what they've done is they've made me actually think about what God's creation is going to be like, what's going to be left, and what shape is it going to be in when they're 60. And then the other thing is I was ordained as a pastor in the Mennonite Church, and my short title is Eco-Pastor. So that's,
What else would you like to share? Anything to conclude?
yeah, I almost concluded there, but there is one more thing, and it is important, and that's that we could really use your support. This ministry is 95% self-funded, and that limits what we can do. If you can help by volunteering, if you can help by donating, go to the A Rocha USA webpage, hit that donation button, scroll down, find SoCal A Rocha, and give us a vote of support in that way. That'd be really appreciated and would greatly expand our ministry. So thank you. I hope you have a great holiday season. Merry Christmas.